10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 4, row down. 3, 2, and 1. Just like me, the number one kaiju in this household.
Listen up, Rangers. Welcome to the Geek Chest. My name's Steve, and today we have a top 10 for you because I want to discuss what I would love to see come out of the Hiya Toys Godzilla line. Which, if you guys didn't know, they did already release the Godzilla. We did a review of it. It's been out. The figure's been out for a little bit. The con's already showing up with some other reviewers. Still waiting on ours, sadly. And then the Mothra and Rodan are also currently available for pre-order. And with the Godzilla being such a popular figure, with the figure already going for, on eBay, 3 to 4 times its normal price at the moment, which is, I didn't see that coming, to be fair, because it's just like, okay, another legendary Godzilla figure, woohoo. But because it's an awesome looking figure, it's really articulated, and when it came out, the price was really reasonable for what you're getting, like almost a steal. And with it being such a hot commodity at this moment, I kind of want to go over just things I would like to see them do with their line, especially if they continue forward with it outside of just the 4 that we know about currently. So for number 10. So with this list, some of these are going to kind of be chunks of things together, not just a specific figure, but like a specific movie or an event that happened. And number 10 is going to be the exception, because for number 10, I just specifically want a really good articulated King Ghidorah from Godzilla King of the Monsters, because they already got Godzilla, Mothra, Rodan from King of the Monsters currently going up, or at least things that would work with it. The Godzilla is technically not, but it'll be fine. But so it'd be sweet to get the King Ghidorah. More so than the like Mecha, I'm kind of whatever with, but the King Ghidorah in that movie was a really sweet design. And the monster arts, while it looks fine, is more or less a glorified statue, and technically the head sculpt isn't even really that correct for it to begin with. So it'd be nice to see what they could do with it, especially with them already like nailing the proportions on the Godzilla, and at least from what I've seen on the rest of them too. It would be great to see, even having to spend extra on it to even get a hold of it. I'm willing to do that. So for number 9, I was kind of jumping around with some of the ones on the list, but I kind of want to keep the more obscure ones for later in the list, or at least the ones I'm less likely to believe we'll get, but my hope is here that we will get some of them. So for number 9, I'm going to pick specifically the movie Godzilla Raids Again, or you may know as Gigantus the Fire Monster, the 1955 Godzilla, which I feel like is like the most criminally underrated Godzilla suit. I don't know of all time, but it's definitely up there. And a lot of people don't tend to like the suit. It's kind of rushed together. But for me, growing up with it, I always thought the thing was terrifying. Like, especially that puppet that you see in the movie, the thing. It's like, would send shivers down little Steve. And then with that, I would assume if we get Godzilla, we'd get the Anguirus. And with the movie having, honestly, like one of the more memorable fights for me, just because of how like animalistic it was, with like them biting at each other, clawing, knocking each other, and actually like going into buildings and going through buildings and destroying them. I would just love to be able to recreate that in action figure form, and I'm kind of hard pressed to believe that Bandai's going to give it to us. And same with Super 7, which I do actually appreciate them doing more obscure, or at least making the figures that they've been releasing, even if we have other variations of it, a little bit more unique. But that being said, with the Raids Again not being the most popular movie outside of being one of my favorites, it would just be great to be able to have something I could mess around with a little bit more. Which I guess will continue the trend for number 8. Another movie I would like to see figures of is Destroy All Monsters. I'm picking this one just because it would give us the most Kaijus. Because if they're going to do one, hopefully we'll do all of them. So we'll get Godzilla, a Rodan, Anguirus, Ghidorah, Gorosaurus, Varan, Bargon, Mothra, Minya. Like, give us the whole shebang in fully articulated form. Which would be nice because it would kind of flesh out a lot of other Kaiju collectors' collections. If you're collecting monster art, it'd give you a lot of the Kaijus that we haven't gotten from them and probably not getting anytime soon. So for the people that maybe would have skipped out on the Hiya Godzilla because, again, There's a lot of legendary Godzilla figures already out in the market. Not really anything for Showa Godzillas. Like, Monster Arts is literally it at this point. And being able to get like such like a smorgasbord of fan favorite kaijus like all out of the way in one movie. So number 7, this is kind of more of just a personal one. Well, I guess this entire list isn't in general, isn't it? But something that I would love to see, and it was one of my favorite Godzilla things growing up, and nobody gives these things enough loving. I mean, and just like in general, like any iteration, they don't really get enough loving. But the comic book Godzillas, specifically for me, I would love to see Dark Horse. Them doing that Godzilla in particular, like we did the custom on the channel with the bloody mouth. Having a legit one would be sweet. Or just a Godzilla in that same color scheme would be cool. And then even some of the other kaijus from it, or even like the aliens that hunted him down, would actually be really cool too. And then you could do like battle damage Godzilla with like the arrows and stuff sticking out of them. Godzillasaurus is from those comics. You got a lot to play with. I wouldn't think the copyright would be too hard to get a hold of, because it'd be imagine Dark Horse and maybe the artist. I'm not 100% how that works, but it would definitely make for something unique, and again, something that I don't think really any other company is probably going to be giving us. And even if they didn't do Dark Horse, like you have like IDW options, like the Godzilla and Hell stuff would be sweet, or even some of the crossover ones, like Godzilla from the Power Ranger crossover. And they do a lot of comic book stuff already with the Judge Dredd figures. And even like, I guess RoboCop would be more movie stuff, but it still kind of ties in the comics in a way. So it's not out of the wheelhouse to do something like this. Number 5, getting into some more like niche, like specific Godzilla stuff and stuff that's fairly recent. I would love to see them do Godzilla The Ride figures. Because again, not really getting anything from Monster Arts. I doubt we're going to get anything from like a Super 7. So it's Godzillas that you wouldn't really have much competition. It's a very sweet looking Godzilla. It's decently popular because, well, you have the X Plus and Bandai Vinyl. Pretty much it that I know of for Godzilla The Ride stuff. So be able to get a sweet, fully articulated one, and even possibly like the Rodan, even though we only really saw it dead. But would be cool to have. Even if just like it was like an accessory. You have like the Rodan carcass to go along with your King Ghidorah from that. And maybe even like Godzilla comes with, oh, what the heck was it? Were you flying around like a car? Something like that. I forget. I have to go back and check it. But again, just being able to get like the Godzilla and Ghidorah from that would be freaking fantastic. For number 4, another one that we just got more recently would be the Godzilla versus Gigan from the shorts, where we have the Gigan Rexes. Being able to get articulated versions of those, and also the Godzilla from that, which again, you could do multiple versions of the Godzilla, because you see regular Godzilla, charged up Godzilla, then you have red Gigans, and the blue Gigan you could do as well. So, decent amount of options there, and again, something I'd be no other companies really doing. And to be honest, yeah, it's Bandai Vinyls. It's pretty much it, because the Monster Arts announced they're doing Gigan, but it's the Showa Gigan. So kind of beat a dead horse, but again, be a nice little niche figure that no other company's going to do. Be able to make quite a bit of profit off it, especially off me. Like I mentioned, I'm trying to keep it away from movies, specifically because for the most part, Monster Arts is probably going to be doing a lot of them, and like Super 7 stuff. Something I would, again, love to see is them doing Godzilla the Animated Series, based off the 1998 movie, where you have the Godzilla, and then you have a plethora of kaijus you can work off of from that. Which, I still wish Treadmaster would have released those, because there was the prototypes of those. Actually, I've got to handle one of them before, too, with the C-Rex? Is that what its name was? But be able to just get like a cool animated looking Godzilla that's, again, fully posable. And then also just being able to have a lot of other monsters that you could release play off of. And again, we're just going to keep beating that thing. But it's something that no other company is really giving us. And literally, no other company is giving us animated Godzilla stuff. Number 2. This is the one that could maybe happen, but I'm honestly hesitant because since no other company's really given us these guys, I'm assuming we probably aren't really going to be getting them either, is any of the non-originally Toho-owned legendary kaijus, like Skullcrawler, Behemoth, and just everybody else, like Mudos. Everybody else you see in the legendary films that wasn't based off of a pre-existing monster. Which, Mudos, there's a Bandai vinyl, Bandai Premium vinyl, some little NECA figures. Playmates gave us the Mudo. Like, the Playmates has honestly given us the most authentic ones. And then there's the 3D printed companies like Photon Collectibles that's been putting them out. And I forget who makes the statues. But having some, again, like authentic, fully articulated figures that could, again, like, I don't even need to buy any of the other Hiya toys. I could just buy these ones specifically to go with my Monster Arts collection that I already have. Granted, it wouldn't be in the right scale, but it would still fill in the collection of miscellaneous monsters that currently don't own. And I think they would personally sell better than even the Godzillas or even the mainstream monsters, just because, again, nobody's giving them to us, especially at a reasonable price. Because with that Bandai Premium set being like, $200 to get a hold of for not posable Mudos that look kind of off to me, to be honest. Just pay Dope Pope. Just pay him, articulate those models, sell them to us. And for number 1, we've already kind of mentioned this guy earlier a little bit, but specifically I want a stupid 1998 Godzilla action figure based off the movie. Now, with this guy, you only really could do him. I can't think of really any other variations you could do, although you could use that Godzilla to transition into an animated one. If you want to keep him more realistic looking and kind of do takes of the animated series but realistic, which would be sweet. I also would be able to get behind that as well, because then sell multiple Godzillas and then more new ones. You can also take that one, just put some armor plating on it, bam, you got Cyber Godzilla. But yeah, you guess you could do the babies. You could do fully articulated babies, right? Have them as multiple different releases, and then you could base them off the Treadmaster color schemes. That would break me. That would break me pretty quick, because I'd have to buy them, being like one of these solo Godzilla YouTubers that like vouches that 98 Godzilla is a good movie. I like it. I like it a lot. Even with Matthew Broderick and his worms, I still enjoy it. But anyways, let us know in the comment section below what you guys want to see out of the Hiya Toys line. We'd love to hear guys' input in the comment section below. Also, if you guys are interested in picking up some collectibles for yourself, link in the description for Entertainment Earth. Help support the channel. Get yourself some sweet collectibles like the Monster Arts. They got Godzilla stuff. Go check it out. We also have a Patreon, Pinterest, Instagram, and Facebook. Guys, look, keep up to date with channel donate. We greatly appreciate it. Also got Discord attached to our Patreon, and more likely going to probably be reworking that here in the near future with our unimportant reviews going up early on there. So if you guys would like to check those out in advance, $1 gets you into that, $3 gets you into Discord, and vice versa, and so on and so forth with the other tiers. And also, Arnez likes to stream on Twitch. I think I said Twitter last time we were talking about this. But yes, he does stream gaming on Twitch periodically. It tends to be a little bit random. So usually it's whenever we hop on Call of Duty, he might pop up and do the stream. So if you guys would like to go check that out as well, link in the description. Anyways, see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.